You need to set the priorities and expectations when you first start planning the wedding, and that can set the tone for everything else that you do.
Welcome back to another video. I'm Carson Bruce, wedding DJ, videographer. Evan Lanier here, also a wedding DJ and videographer. You're mainly a videographer. You started off on DJ.
Yeah. I don't tell anybody I did DJ.
You know, he abandoned the DJ world a long time ago, but
Photo and video for a long time though.
Oh yeah, photo and video. You know, I forget you do photo because I'm just obsessed with your videos that I don't even look at your photos that much.
I've been doing photos for like 8 years at weddings.
He's a great photographer too. But we're just here to talk about priorities on your wedding day, priorities within weddings. What should you prioritize? And that's really comes down to you. But I hope these past videos have been helpful. We've talked a little bit about why we have this Wedding Venues official page. There are full cinematic tours of venues in Central Alabama right now. We're kind of going a little up north, going down towards Auburn, Montgomery area as well. If you have some venue recommendations, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know. And also get a full walkthrough venue tour of that venue if you have any recommendations, by the way. But let's talk about wedding day priorities. I'll start us off by saying, as a DJ, I do a lot of 100, 200, 300 attendee type weddings, mid-size, maybe larger. You know, the larger the crowd, the better the energy, the more I want to DJ there. You know what I mean? So like obviously as a videographer, photographer, you could do an elopement with 10 people and it'd be absolutely beautiful, stunning, incredible. As a DJ, if there's 10 people, it feels a little funny to be there with 10 people. But you know, you get 200 or 300 people in the room, they're all dancing, the energy's high, we keep mixing and it's really fun. As a DJ, one of the main things when people inquire is like, oh, what's your wedding date? What's your venue? So I'm going to open up this conversation, Evan, by saying that I think while we're talking about venues, the Wedding Venues official page, I think venues is a very high priority to a lot of people. If you're going to be hosting an event type wedding day where there's going to be a lot of people, I think venue needs to be one of the top priorities. What that venue is, totally up to you, of your preference and everything. But I think a venue is super top-notch priority because your photographer can't agree to you, your DJ can't agree to you, your caterer can't agree to you unless you know a location and a date. What do you say about that?
I would say that is priority if you have a place or a type of place that you prefer. I think when you very first start, when you very first get engaged, I think setting your priorities is the most important thing. And that kind of set the tone for your whole planning process and even your wedding day.
Yes.
I've had weddings over the years that have inquired and they will be getting married. They're like, I really want you to do my wedding. And we'll talk. And they're like, I love your work. I've been following your work for 5 years or whatever. I would love for you to do my wedding. I'm getting married on this day. And I'm like, well, I'm already booked that day. I'm sorry. Well, who do you recommend? Well, I recommend these people or whatever, and they try to, So that's always great. I don't mind recommending people. I always love to send people to other friends of mine who do similar work. But I've had other weddings that have been like, I love your work. We're looking at May. What's your availability in May before they set the date?
Oh, wow.
So I think if...
That's because you're so great, man.
Well, no, I'm not saying that for me.
I'm
just saying...
I never have couples that say, we want you, so we will pick our date depending on...
But I think that's important.
But you do.
I think that's important
that's
because
incredible.
Sometimes people pick a venue and a date, and it's like, oh, we've got to pick a venue and a date first. Like that's the order that you're supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I think.
A lot of times it is, but it's not always necessarily the most important thing. If you've got this dream venue that you want to have your wedding at, or if you've got an area and you're like, oh, well, I've inquired 2 or 3 venues and one that I like is available and it's only open this Saturday in May that I want to do it because this is the day we want to do it.
Yep.
Lock it down. And you've got some photographers that you like, you can choose, lock the venue down.
Sure,
I'm not saying don't do it that way. I'm just saying if there's a band, if there's a popular band that's like, I went to a wedding and they were like my favorite band.
Yeah.
And I love the vibe and the energy they brought for the wedding day. I got to have them at my wedding. And you're like, I got 3 or 4 venues that I like, I could pick from. Find out what their availability is.
Right.
It may not be booking them, but like, hey, are you available this date? Okay. pencil me in, or let me know if something happens. I'm going to go book this venue now based on the date, if the date doesn't really matter, or the date time frame.
Yeah.
So I think setting the priorities is very important.
Absolutely.
If a photographer is the most important thing, book that.
Yes.
Or maybe not book it first, but at least inquire about the availability before you lock in a date at a venue.
That's what we did. We made sure our photographer was available.
Okay, see, so you talk to the photographer at least before you.
Yes.
So I think that setting the priority is big, because people will sometimes pick the venue or pick the date and the venue together before checking out the other things. And then they're like, man, I wish I had this person. I really like this person, or they couldn't be there. And that may be a higher priority to you.
True.
And sometimes things just don't matter.
Yeah.
Like there's some vendors that you may not prioritize or may not even need.
Yeah.
And so just kind of giving that priority list, like, is a photographer most important? Is it a venue? Is it a location? Is it a band? Is it what is it that's the most important thing to you?
Right.
Set that kind of priority list, that pecking order early, and start those inquiries in that order.
Yes.
And then you can start locking down the dates and things.
And I'll butt in here and say, okay, so maybe it's not the venue right off the bat, but one thing that I've always thought too and suggest is finding a good, and this is not glamorous because people never realize how important they are until after the fact, really, or until maybe you start working in the wedding industry, then you realize how important they are. But the actual wedding planner and coordinator, if you find if you don't lock in your highest priority vendor or whatever, at least lock in a good locally, a local coordinator. And now I say local is because they know the vendors in that area.
And they may help you pick.
They may help you pick.
Yeah, if you're going to have somebody coordinate like the whole planning process, having somebody that you like to work with will help you pick a venue, and they'll help you with the budget and vendors.
It's a
and
big
all that kind of
thing.
stuff. Sometimes there are things that people think they need that they spend. Maybe they book somebody low end for that thing that's not even a priority, and they may not even care about having that thing, but they think because everybody else did it, I've got to have that thing, that vendor, whatever that is. And you do 2 or 3 of those, then that eats money out of. Maybe the priority was taking that money and putting it towards a planner that you weren't going to have a planner, or maybe taking that money and say you wanted to book photo video team that was going to be $7,000, but you had booked $5,000, but you spent $2,000 on 2 other vendors that were so low priority that kept you from booking the other. So repurposing your budget. Sometimes I've had couples that have called me or not called me, have inquired and said, well, here's my budget for video. And they may arbitrarily have just picked a number out of thin air that was like their number they wanted to spend on video.
Yeah.
And I've also had couples who said, well, we'd like to book you, and I give them a package list and everything. And I've had them come back, well, we spent most of our budget on flowers, so our budget's lower for video. That's fine if flowers are your most important. If that's a high priority, that's fine.
Right.
But if you prioritize early, that'll keep you from spending all your money on flowers, which may be a low priority to you if video is a priority.
Yeah.
If flowers is a priority, spend your money on that and maybe not hire a videographer or photographer, or hire somebody lesser if that is still something you want, but you really want to spend the money on this thing. Mm-hmm. If you want to hire like the best photo video team or whatever, and you want to spend money on that, but maybe you have some friends that will help you with decorations, or you can do flowers, like a minimal flower arrangements and things like that. It's all about priority, because that keeps you from putting all your money. Sometimes you book one thing and spend the money out, then you don't realize how much the other things cost.
Totally.
And so planning it out, it helps a lot.
Totally.
And a planner will help with that too.
Okay, I want to ask everyone too here on YouTube what your priorities are. Like, what are you prioritizing as a couple? What are some of your priorities? And Evan, what was your priority when you got married in 2009? You said you didn't have like a first dance, and you didn't prioritize a video because you didn't.
Photo was done by a friend of ours who is still doing photography. He's great. But I didn't have anything to do with that. He had done my sister-in-law's wedding.
We should do like wedding day regrets, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we'd had video. The photos were great. I wasn't I wasn't involved in that process, as I wasn't in the wedding world at the time. I didn't have a lot of priorities at the time. I didn't know what.
You just want to get married.
Yeah, I didn't know what to even look for and think about. Going back now,
And I think that's important because that is still
that's still the case. That's why we want to share this stuff, is because we want you to think through things. Some people are I think it generally turns into brides are more looking at everybody else's weddings and trying to figure out what they did so they can do this. A lot of times the groom is less connected and less involved. Not always, but a lot of times. And so we want to share this information so that we can kind of speak from our experience in weddings, but also, my wedding. There are things that I did, or things that we did, that looking back, like I don't have any really major regrets. Like nothing went crazy wrong. There were some things that I wish we had done. Video was probably the highest one, that I wish we had done. And the other would be still photo video. I wish we had taken some time as a couple to do some more portraits, even maybe after the wedding. I've done some adventure sessions where couples have a wedding day and they want to have this 8-hour wedding day, and they don't want to go away for an hour or two from their party, but they want to have epic, awesome photos, and we'll do like an adventure session on another day. I wish we had done something like that, because we had the day scheduled, but we didn't. So there's a few things I would have done differently. Now having done weddings for so many years, but
totally.
I think just communication and talking through your priorities. I think a lot of times the groom sometimes is not as involved in the process. I think involving them, especially in,
and don't forget about your groom.
Yes, especially photo and video stuff. Like sometimes I want to have before I book a couple, I want to talk to the couple. I try to talk to both of them on the phone at some point, so I like know who they are and their personalities, so it's a good fit, and so they trust me, and so they feel like they know me when I show up for the wedding day before booking. But also, like, I try to do a FaceTime call with a couple on video chat if I don't meet them in person, if they're not local, so that it's not just, hey, I'm here to shoot your wedding. It's like, oh yeah, you're the guy that I talked to, and we've already talked to this thing. And so it's building rapport. Totally. And I think that's important with other vendors also, and the venue. Like when you go to visit a venue, talk to the owner, talk to the people that are showing you around, ask about the place, ask about the personalities of the people and how the day works and things like that. It's not just the space, because you're not coming into the space and just having your way with it. You're coming in and they're managing it, and so having a good connection with the people and the personality match and things like that, and a good fit with all your vendors is huge.
Yes, absolutely.
So that you're not working against each other on the day. If your priorities and the things that they're doing are not lined up. The thing I would say with the first look, I do about 50-50. I think weddings with or without. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, why are you doing a first look, and why are you not doing a first look, and what's the most important thing, priority, again, on your wedding. Like, this is not just booking your vendors, this is on the wedding day. What's the priority? Is getting your reaction when you come down the aisle. If that's a huge priority and that's most important or very important, you need to move your wedding time up earlier in the day so that you have time to do all the things that you need to do afterwards. If you're doing a first look just to get it out of the way and to see each other so you can get on with everything else, I think that's sometimes not a great reason to do it. I think it needs to have intention. It needs to have a purpose.
Absolutely.
Not just, oh, well, I got to see you. We got to get this done because we got to do all this other stuff, so we don't wait. I think if seeing each other coming down the aisle is important, adjust everything else to fit that. Okay. Whatever your priority is, make that the thing that you base everything else off of. So like when I have couples that we're not going to do a first look. Well, we look at sunset. I was talking to a couple the other day. Sunset, I think, is at 7:00 for their wedding. And I said, they were like, we're going to do we are deciding or not on a first look. Their wedding's next year. And I was like, okay, if you're going to do a first look, you can do probably this time frame. But if you're not doing a first look, you need to back it up like 45 minutes to an hour to give time. I think many wedding days, a first look is great because you get to be with family and friends. You're there together. You get to see each other. You get to have a special moment, and then you get to have time to hang out with your family and friends. I'm friends. We did a first look. I'm friends with my wife's friends, and she's friends with my friends. And like, if we hadn't done a first look, Many of them came in from out of town. We wouldn't have been with each other until after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was nice to have a few hours earlier in the day to hang out with each other.
Totally.
But some weddings don't, it's fine not to have one.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of setting your expectations.
100%.
And I think, the regrets that some people have, it's good to take into, like, what you say and what I say. Like, think through those things as people talk to you, and don't say, oh, well, he said he wished he'd had a first look, so I've got to have one. Maybe, oh, I didn't take this into account.
Yeah.
Maybe if I need to do a first look, maybe think about doing a first look, but also think, well, if I'm not doing a first look, what do I need to change in the day to make this thing work? I think people sometimes just like, well, everybody said I needed one, so I got to get one.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of weddings where there have been multiple first looks. I had one wedding. I had a wedding that I joked that the couple saw everybody at the wedding.
First look with the dog.
They had first look with everybody at the wedding except for each other until they came down the aisle. So they didn't do a first look with each other, but they did do first looks with many people. And it made the logistics of the day very rushed. It was very busy. It was very back and forth. Like because they couldn't see each other and they were in different locations, but to do the people with a first look, so we had to go find this person, then bring them down here to this first look, and then we had to take them back and then bring this other person. And so just doing all that stuff, having a special moment with somebody is important. And I'm not saying that it wasn't important, but there was a lot, and it turned the relaxing morning preparation into a logistical nightmare.
Right.
Because we were at a place we had to use shuttle, like golf carts and stuff like that, and it made for the photo video team. We're trying to capture things, and instead of being able to capture everything, we were just standing around waiting for the first looks to happen. Mm-hmm. So take all that into account as you're planning. Sometimes people are like, well, we only need 8 hours we only want you for 8 hours or 6 hours or whatever. We only want a little bit of coverage time. But then they're like, well, we want to do this at the beginning and this at the beginning and this at the beginning, and we're going to do this at the end, and we want you to stay. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you got to you got to choose. So if you have all this stuff that you want to do, you need some space for your creative team and for the venue, like the access time for the venue.
Totally.
You need to be able to have time to breathe. Don't try to add all this stuff and try to constrain your photo video team. Well, you got to capture all this stuff, and we've got 20 minutes to do it, and there's no room for error or margin.
Right.
That's just going to make the day stressful for 100%. You and everybody else. Give yourself some breathing room creatively, but also scheduling and priority, and don't do all the things that everybody else did unless you really want to do them. Those
are great points, and I completely agree. I think that's really, really crucial for people to hear. And how many years you said you've been married?
16.
16. Okay, I've been married 4. You've been married 16 years. And I think one of the main priorities for all of us is to actually stay married once we get married.
Yeah.
Which is a good point to bring up. Some people don't prioritize actually evaluating who they're marrying. No. I think premarital counseling is great too, just for anyone. Doesn't matter if you've been together, you've been dating for 6 years or 6 months, whatever it is. Finding a good premarital counselor is very high priority because the wedding day logistics is great, but if you're not prioritizing actually knowing that this is who you want to marry, that's pretty pivotal. So I just want to throw that out there too.
No, I think sometimes the wedding gets priority over the actual marriage.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to advocate for a wedding to be more important than the marriage.
Absolutely.
And I think for me, that's why I think I say this, I said wedding doesn't necessarily need a photographer. As a photographer, I'm not going to say that you shouldn't get one, but like if the marriage is the most important thing, you're not any less married.
Yeah. And by law, I mean, you don't even really need officiant now.
Yeah, in Alabama, you don't even have to have an officiant. Yeah. I think you need to take it's very important and take care of the thing that you're committing to.
Yes.
So I'm not saying just do it frivolously or whatever, but also don't let the wedding and the planning be more important than marriage or ruin your marriage because you've had so many fights and family. Like I know of families that have had weddings that I've shot that the families have had so much like conflict because of the planning that it really made the family dynamic hard on the wedding day. Oof. Just like between
it's difficult.
The bride's family or the groom, like individual families, or even the bride and groom family, like together, like just because they just didn't agree on the way things should go or whatever. Like just be flexible with people. You're not merging two people, you're merging two families. For sure. So
I think that's important. And the wedding day, of course, Evan and I are wedding vendors, so we love the wedding day. We love being a part of the experience. I think the whole day is a marathon, but it does fly by. Like you do so much planning, but it just boom, it's gone.
I'll get there on the day. Sometimes when people are getting ready, I'm like, and the next thing you're going to realize is happening, you're in the car leaving, and they'll be like, it's gone by so fast.
Well, anything else on priorities, Evan?
No, I think just for planning your wedding, for establishing a good foundation in marriage together, you've got to set your priorities. You've got to be in agreement on your priorities.
Yes.
You've got to have discussions with people who are involved in the wedding day.
Yes.
These are our priorities. This is how we want to organize the planning of the day, the things that are most important to us, whether your parents or your friends or whoever's helping you, so that they're not trying to plan their wedding through your wedding. Yes. Sometimes people can get their priorities mixed with your priorities if they're helping. So just setting just not in a bad way, but just in a way to ease the planning process. Set your priorities, set your expectations, pick the vendors and the location and all that stuff that are the most important to you, and then let everything else go around that. And then also on the wedding day, pick the things that are the most high priority, and then schedule around that. And again, don't let your marriage be less important than your wedding day. Always, the marriage is the most important thing. The wedding day is always, it's always great, but don't let it be more important than the actual marriage that you're beginning.
Evan, hopefully we keep making some more of these videos. Man.
I'd be curious what people are like. What do they want to know about?
Yeah, what do y'all want to know about?
From experience, like we've been doing this for a decade each, over a decade.
Yeah.
Hearing from us, like what parts of the wedding day, what parts of the planning process are things that you have questions about. We'd love to come up with some ideas and here's some ideas and come up with maybe some answers from experience that we've had as husbands, but also as wedding vendors. So,
right.
Yeah.